I very seldom disagree with T. Lou. I disagree. What more can you ask from this man? He's been doing this all year. How many people come out with a triple-double and you ask them to do more? I just don't understand how you ask him to do more. He's beating 3 to 4 people every time he gets the ball. He's making plays for everybody on the team. And he's been the best player in the world. I don't know how much more you can ask him.
What about Ty Lue? That's the only thing he can depend on to get the game started. What about, I don't know how my bench players, I don't know how all these younger players are due with the playoff pressure coming from behind. I need the guy who I know can get the fire started. Not that I need him to do more. Right. I need him to do it early.
Right.
Because it gives the team a better chance because, man, we don't know about, you question Rodney Hood. Mm-hmm. You question George Hill. You question
Clarkson.
Like,
right.
in their ability to contribute. You don't question JR. Mm-hmm. So JR, Love, and LeBron are the only things Ty Lue like. So let's go with the king. Let's see if he can get him started. I think that's what Ty Lue is talking about.
Well, we all know that he can get started anytime he wants to, but these other guys are the problem. It's not LeBron. Like I said, he had a triple-double in a loss. These other guys have to step up. They have to get going early. They have to get themselves going. You can't rely on LeBron to get you a shot. Some kind of way these guys have to find a way to get a shot off the dribble or to be more aggressive and to show some sense of urgency. You're not asking LeBron to show no sense of urgency. You ask him to start earlier. I think for him, he's doing everything he can. These other guys got to understand that this guy, even though he's the best player, he's not going to win this series by himself.
Well, that's the part of this that I think we got to acknowledge. Now, yesterday went on TV and said for the Cavs to have any shot, LeBron's got to be the best player over these 2 months in the entire league. At worst, second best player for them of any shot. And on the first weekend, there were a half dozen guys who I thought played better games than LeBron did. Oladipo, Giannis, Harden,
right.
like you can go down the list. But I also think that we should learn by now that there is almost always a reason behind what LeBron does and how he does it. And I think LeBron knows that the season is an utter failure if they don't make the finals, and it's half a failure if they don't win a championship, right? That's his standard. That's the standard he has set for himself, and he's lived up to over the last decade.
But the team might not have that standard. That's his standard. I don't think the guys on the team have that same standard.
Well, that leads me to the point, which is I think he knows the only chance we're reaching that standard is if those guys that nobody has confidence in right now get going.
Right.
So the way to get them going is to try to get them going.
Right.
Try to first playoff game, I'm going to distribute. First playoff game, now, I don't think he expected them to be down 33-14, and I think when he saw the patient was about to bleed out, maybe he says, listen, let me perform some surgery real quick, and then we'll get back to it. But I do think he knows that if he just has to go 30-point triple-double instead of 24-point triple-double for them to be competitive, that might help them beat the Pacers quicker, but that's not necessarily their path to competing for an NBA championship.
You also can't take away what Indiana did.
I was about to say that.
Victor Oladipo came out and had the game of his life. They played stellar defense. We don't talk about it because we never watched them. This was like their second national game.
Yes.
We don't really know how good they are. They played really well. And we'll all admit, we came out here and we talked about how the Cavs were going to treat the Pacers moving through the rest, and they were going to treat the Pacers as if it was a practice round gearing up for the rest of the playoffs. I think they were a little surprised by how well the Pacers played them.
Well, the defense, I said it. LeBron, every time he got the ball, every time he drove, he had to beat 3 or 4 guys to even score or to get a pass off. And that's the way you have to play him. He has to see bodies. He can't get the ball from one end and just drive all the way down and lay it up. And, I think Indiana need to take a page from Miami. Did you see that foul Dwayne put on Simmons?
Yes.
That was
wrapped him up.
That was a big play in that game. Those type of fouls matter in the playoffs, and I think Cleveland has to get that mentality. They got to come out and be the hit first team in order to get this next game at home.
I know you well enough at this point to know the types of players you like and you don't like. And one thing you have no stomach for is guys that are afraid of an opponent. Right? Guys that are intimidated by someone, even if it's the best player in the world across from them. What do you think of how Lance plays LeBron?
Well, I love it. I love it because in Lance's mind, he knows he can't stop LeBron.
Right.
Just like everybody else in the league. But what I can do is what I said yesterday. You make it difficult for him. LeBron is not used to guys getting in his face, bumping him, challenging him, talking smack to him. He probably deals with that once or twice a year. I know if me and Ron was in the league, he'll deal with it every time he played against us. But I think Lance gets it.
But so I don't think people understand that part of it. that there are certain guys in the league that in today's NBA, other guys don't talk trash to him. Even trash talkers don't talk trash to him. Like when you say LeBron only deals with it once or twice a year, he is at a place in the league where even his opponent almost, I don't want to say defers, but like plays him with a level of respect typically.
Definitely. A lot of them, like I said yesterday, a lot of them are starstruck when they play him. But Lance understands, LeBron, you breathe the same air as me. You know, I just tell people all the time, I'm not scared of nothing but garden weddings, okay? That's two things I've been scared of for a long time, okay? No human on the basketball court, and Lance gets it. You have to prove it. I understand you're the best in the world, but you're going to have to prove it to me on night in,
and regardless
night
of
out.
how many times LeBron has taken it to them. And I just believe that's an NBA thing. Because in NFL, you can't do that because the guy will bust you in your face.
Right.
You know, like it's a basketball thing. That he has that superstar status and everything. But that is a real thing. What Indiana is doing, they've taken a page from their coach, Nate McMillan. What was Nate? Nate was a role player, a defensive specialist. So if you took something in the game besides Oladipo catching fire, what they did defensively for Indiana was real. And that's what you want to watch in tomorrow's matchup. Their intensity on the defensive end, it gave Cleveland and LeBron problems.
And I'm sorry to interrupt. Another thing to watch, no player in NBA history. Now, this is something that we don't have the records on dating back 30 years, but given the way the game's changed, I think it's fair to say in NBA history, certainly in recorded NBA history, has assisted on more corner threes than LeBron James. And how does he typically get players those shots? Drive, kick. He had 0 assists on drives in the first game of the series. If you watch the game, it's not because he wasn't passing on drives. It's because guys were not hitting those shots. The path for the Cavs has always been, especially post-Kyrie, but even with Kyrie, the path has been, except for the games Kyrie went off, LeBron either go crazy or catch fire from three based on passes from LeBron. Neither really happened in game one.
Yeah, last night, in game number 1, LeBron need to realize there is no Kyrie, though.
Right.
You can't defer when you don't have a super, mega offensive player who is proven in the playoff. Kevin Love, even at his best, is not Kyrie. That's why I don't like LeBron having the same attitude he's had in the past. He needs to be, with this team, be more like Kobe and be more like MJ. Because that attitude to go, like, he should be going for 40. With the lack, okay, go ahead.
No, I feel like we've been saying that.
Kyrie's not there.
I understand, but
how are they going to score the point?
He got to turn it up. He got to.
But it was the same thing, Cece. That was I was with you at the Knicks game when you were saying these same things. And how did they come back against the Knicks? 3-pointers assisted by LeBron. In the Wizards game, when they were down 17, it was LeBron scored 8 points.
It's the playoff, Nick. The rims are a little bit tighter for guys who aren't used to doing it.
They got to take advantage of this, too, because if they get passes around the good teams, the great defensive teams at the top of the list, they don't give up that corner three. They stay home. So they got to get used to it and find another way to score, because if they get past this, that the corner three not going to be there.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with saying LeBron need to be more aggressive and be more like Kobe and be more like Mike. There's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that. I just think it's inaccurate.